Organism means the cells in the body of this organism are all haploid. So haploid cells cannot undergo meiosis. The only possibility is that they can undergo mitosis. So an haploid organism can form gametes by mitosis, and then the gamete of one individual is fertilized with the gamete of the other individual. So syngamy happen, and after syngamy, what do you find? A diploid zygote is formed, which will quickly undergo meiosis to form again an adult haploid organism. So because the life cycle of the new individual starts as a zygote, and the first cell itself undergoes meiosis, so it is called as initial meiosis. Now in this life cycle, you will find that diploid situation or condition is only visible for a short duration. The whole life is haploid. That's why this type of life cycle is called as haplontic life cycle. Very easily visible in fungi, protists, algae, easiest example, some species of Chlamydomonas or otherwise Spirogyra. Now the second one is gametic meiosis. So gametic meiosis happens late, that's why it is called as the terminal meiosis. It occurs in the case of diplontic life cycle. So easiest example is human being. We all start our life as a zygote, and zygote underwent mitosis because our whole body is made up of diploid cells. So now a diploid organism is formed. This organism has special cells in testes and ovary. You know this concept in 10th class. So those special cells undergo meiosis to form gametes, and gamete of one individual haploid fertilized by the other individual haploid, and now after fertilization a zygote is formed again. So in this whole situation, you see haploid state is visible only for a brief time. That's why this life cycle is called as diplontic life cycle, and in this life cycle gametes are formed by meiosis. That's why it is also called as gametic meiosis. So here zygote undergoes meiosis. That means meiosis is the zygote undergoes meiosis. Here gametes are the product of meiosis, and because it happens late, so it is called as the terminal meiosis. Now the third possibility is the sporic meiosis or in-between condition. So it is also called as the intermediate life cycle, intermediate meiosis. Now this happens in bryophytes and pteridophytes. Yes, in 9th you have learned about ferns, mosses, liverworts and all. So in those organisms which belong to bryophyta or pteridophyta, they show sporic type of meiosis, and such a life cycle is called as diplohaplontic life cycle. Now what is diplohaplontic life cycle? When diploid stage is also visible for a good time, and haploid stage is also visible for a good time, so you cannot name it as haplontic or diplontic, so a mixture of the name, that is called as the diplohaplontic life cycle. Now in this life cycle, the zygote, which is diploid, will not undergo meiosis immediately but enter into mitosis just like this and develop a diploid organism. Now the diploid body is called here as a sporophyte. Sporophyte is diploid. Details will come in the 3rd chapter of your 11th class NCERT book, so wait for that. Now this sporophyte will develop a complete body, multicellular body, and only special cells inside these sporophytes undergo meiosis to form spores. That's why sporic. So spores are formed by meiosis. That's why they are called as sporic meiosis. Now these spores undergo haploid structure. The spore undergoes growth, germination and growth, and finally develop into a gametophyte. Now gametophyte is haploid. So haploid structure will form gametes by mitosis. So you can pay attention to one thing. Half of this life cycle is like the diploid and half is like the haploid, because here gametes were formed by mitosis. Here also gametes are formed by mitosis. So now here in this case the zygote undergoes mitosis. Here the zygote undergoes mitosis. So half. That's why in between or intermediate condition. Now these gametes undergo fusion and a zygote is formed again and the cycle continues. Now in this life cycle, sporophytic stage and gametophytic stage, that means diploid stage and haploid stage, both are visible for a long duration in the life cycle. That's why this life cycle is called as diplohaplontic life cycle. I think I have made myself clear to you. Now The next thing is plant cytokinesis and the animal cytokinesis. There are major differences. See, there are few differences when it comes to karyokinesis. The major difference in karyokinesis of plants and animals is that the ester would be absent in the case of plants. Reason, because centrosome or pair of centrioles are absent in the plants, majority of the plants, except few of the lower plants. Maximum plants do not have esters. So without ester, I have taught you a term in the last class. An estral type of spindle apparatus is formed in the plants. An estral type of spindle, or you can say amphiestral, because on both ends, amphiestral type of spindle is formed in the case of the animal. So animal karyokinesis has few difference only when you compare with the plant karyokinesis. But when it comes to the topic of cytokinesis, there are many differences. Let's understand that.